The United Nations 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence starts on the 25th of November, which is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls, and runs through December 10th, which is the International Human Rights Day. And this year, the theme is Unite, Invest to Prevent Violence Against Women and Girls. And we are here to ask stakeholders across various sectors of the economy what they are doing in their spaces to address the issue of gender-based violence. Let's hear them out. If you were president of Nigeria, what policies would you implement? Or would you bring up to address gender-based violence?
One of the policies I'll be looking at is, first, how do you want to empower women? And I think about it in education, right? You find out that the more educated a woman is, the more likely she's independent, the less likely she's going to be a victim of some gender-based violence, because she's not going to be so dependent on a man.
I would say that the issue of gender-based violence, particularly for us in Africa, I think it's sometimes deeply rooted in our culture and tradition, and sometimes even religion. But if I were to be the president of Nigeria, the policies I would like to put in place is to nip the situation in the bud, put in policies that help challenge and address and also counter some of these gender-based violence cases that we see. I mean, strict and stringent measures to address some of these challenging measures.
In fact, the primary level of prevention is education, so sensitization and education of key stakeholders, key primary and secondary stakeholders across all levels, so that people would know that this is a problem and this is what to do to mitigate this issue. And when the issues arise, this is where to find solutions and this is where to find care as regards gender-based violence.
Yeah. As a media professional, what would you do in your space as the first step or in the longer term to address the issue of gender-based violence?
I think that NGOs has tried as much as possible to domesticate or try to pass a law that has to do with gender-based. So what we can do as media organization and even as a journalist to amplify it. So tell us more stories, tell us, and every issue that have to do with Nigeria. How does it affect women? How does it affect girl children? How does it affect people with disabilities and everyone that concerns the whole gender space? So we are not restricting reporting to just people that are available, but trying to see that we capture the voices of everybody.
Yeah. So first of all, because I am female, you definitely know that I would be inclined to policies and programs and of course legislations that are aimed at supporting the causes of women. So of course, I would push for the legislation now, the National Assembly and the House of Representatives, to continue to make good laws that promote and enhance the cause of women. And then of course to mainstream gender activities in our institutions, both in organizations, federal parastatals, and gender should be mainstreamed, whether in promotions, whether in recruitment, whether in the day-to-day practices, day-to-day operations.
We've listened to various stakeholders across various sectors of the economy, and they've highlighted one way or the other that they are working in their spaces to address the issue of gender-based violence. This year, it says, Unite, Invest to Prevent Violence Against Women and Girls.